It's just gone about 5 o'clock and there's a leopard on the ridge here.
In this video, I share my experiences exploring South Africa's Kgalagadi Transfrontier Park with my dad. This is one of the most unique wildlife destinations I have visited, and what surprised me most was the incredible variety of life found in this harsh, semi-arid landscape. The Kalahari is located in the remote corner where South Africa, Namibia and Botswana meet. In this video we will be exploring the southern section of the park, staying at Twee Rivieren Rest Camp, and that will be our base for 4 nights.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. We are here in the Northern Cape, about 10 kilometers from the Kgalagadi Transfrontier Park gate, and we've pulled over to have a look at these sociable weaver nests, which are these massive structures in the tree behind us. And these nests can house up to a few hundred birds, and some of the nests have even been recorded to weigh over a few hundred kilograms. Guys, we're really excited about this trip to the Kgalagadi. We've never been before, and this will be split into a 3-part series, starting off with camping at Twee Rivieren, and then Nosob, and then finally Mata Mata. Guys, we're going to head on now to the gate, and I hope you guys enjoy the video.
After arriving at the entrance gate, we checked in and made our way to the campsite. Luckily, we found a small patch of shade, and without wasting any time, we got straight into setting up the camp.
We've just finished setting up the campsite now, and it took us about an hour to get done. So it's just gone 5:30 and really hot. Must be high 30s still at the moment. We left Cape Town really early. It was a long day of driving on the road. We left at about 3 a.m. and got here just after 4:30. So really some good work done today. We're gonna go on a game drive soon. Gotta go and collect our permit from the gate, and then we'll head out. Not sure which way we'll head just yet. Like I said earlier, it's our first time here, so we don't really know the area. We'll probably check past the sightings board and then make a decision.
When staying at Twee Rivieren, you have 2 main options for a game drive. You can head north along the Alb River, or take the Nosob River route, which branches off to the northeast of the camp. For our very first drive, we decided to explore the Nosob and see what it had in store for us. The first residents of the Kalahari that we came across were these 2 spotted eagle owls. An adult on the left and a juvenile on the right, still wearing its fluffy, underdeveloped plumage. As we continued our drive, we spotted a few more bird species along the way. One thing that really surprised us about the Kgalagadi was how different it looked from what we had imagined. We soon came across 3 lions resting in the middle of the riverbed, 1 male and 2 females. Although they were quite far away, we stopped for a while, hoping they might become active as the sun began to set. Unfortunately, they seemed perfectly content where they were and showed no interest in getting up. On our way back to the camp, we were treated to one last sighting of the adult spotted eagle owl. The evening was perfectly still, and as darkness settled over the Kalahari, the temperatures dropped far more than we had expected. It was a special feeling to be here, a place both my dad and I had dreamed of visiting for such a long time. There was still plenty to see that evening, from the black-tailed tree rat above the tent, to this familiar chat which had roosted in the doorway to the camp's communal kitchen. On our first morning, we headed up the Alb River, excited to explore more of this park. One thing we quickly learned is that game drives in the Kgalagadi cover large distances. It was a slow start to the morning, and we took our time settling into the rhythm of the Kgalagadi. There was plenty of general game in the Alb riverbed, and before long we came across an entire family of spotted eagle owls. Seeing so many owls is a great sign of a healthy ecosystem, and it quickly became clear that owls were going to be one of the main highlights of our trip. We definitely saw a lot of them.
We parked here at this big male lion that's just lying in the road in front of us. But we can see that we're not the first car to arrive here. There's some tire tracks going around him. Obviously some other people came past and had a look. But it's been a quiet morning in terms of the other things that we've seen. Hasn't been too much. And hardly any other vehicles. It's a very quiet park. Interesting to see a new place. We're going to stick around here to see what he gets up to, but it has gone 8:30 and he's looking very lazy. Doesn't look like he'll get up to much.
After spending some time with this lion, we decided it was already too hot for him to move around. So we continued with our drive, and not long afterwards we came across these two swallow-tailed bee-eaters which were hawking insects from the same perch. One of them was a juvenile, which you can identify by the much shallower fork in its tail, a feature that hasn't fully developed yet. Following closely behind this female ostrich were two of her tiny chicks. They were very small and they almost disappeared as they moved into the long grass.
We got up all the way to the Kamkwa picnic site pretty early, and while we were heading south, a car passed us and let us know that we had just missed a leopard drinking at the Montrose waterhole. Must have missed it while we were having breakfast at the Kamkwa picnic site, and we were told that it disappeared into one of the caves in the concrete ridge on the opposite side of the riverbed. Yeah, a little frustrating to know that we missed it by only a few minutes. It looks like it walked quite a far distance before disappearing into the cave. So yeah, whoever got to see it really got a wide open visual of it for a really long time.
As the morning unfolded, more and more wildlife made its way to the riverbeds, gathering at the waterholes for a drink. We never expected to see giraffes in the Kalahari. I hadn't pictured them as part of this rugged landscape. As temperatures climbed above 35 degrees Celsius, most of the wildlife retreated in the shade to escape the midday heat. We decided to do the same and headed back to the campsite to wait out the hottest part of the day. As soon as we arrived back, we were greeted by this curious Cape ground squirrel, which seemed just as interested in us as we were in it. For our afternoon drive, we decided to go up the Nossob riverbed, this time venturing a little bit further up than we had the previous afternoon. We were then treated to one of our most memorable sightings of the entire 2-week trip. 4 barn owls were roosting inside a massive sociable weaver nest, and the sociable weavers were still living there too. These species were sharing the same nest, a real example of coexistence in the Kalahari. That afternoon we had our first sighting of a Cape fox, and it was much smaller than I had imagined. And we also got to see another owl species, this time the impressive Verou's eagle owl. A family were roosted in a tree right next to the road, waiting for the sun to set so that they could begin their evening hunt. By this point it had become clear that the Kgalagadi is an incredible place for owl sightings. As we made our way back to the camp, we were able to see another new species, this time the tiny pygmy falcon, the smallest bird of prey in Africa. Unlike most raptors, pygmy falcons don't build their own nests. Instead, they take over nesting chambers within the enormous communal nests built by sociable weavers.
Yeah guys, so this is the Biberon's thick-toed gecko. It's found on the western half of southern Africa, and it was trying to burrow underneath the tent. So I just pulled this little guy out, and they're slightly smaller than the Turner's gecko, which is a similar looking gecko that you get on the eastern side of South Africa. Morning guys, so it's just gone 6 o'clock now, and we're on our way to the Kamkwa picnic site, or towards the Kamkwa picnic site. We're planning on stopping at the Montrose waterhole and waiting there, just because we missed out on that leopard having a drink there yesterday morning, and we heard from a few people in the campsite that it's been seen the last few mornings between 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock. So we're trying to get there as early as possible. We've got about another 15-20 k's to go before we get there. A lot of owls yesterday afternoon on the way back from Milkvlei, but other than that, not really too much to report back on.
While we waited, a steady stream of birds arrived at the waterhole, and we decided that it was the perfect place to sit and be patient. We were also entertained by some of the Kalahari Desert's smaller inhabitants. These Cape ground squirrels were busy foraging for food and going about their morning routines. We were also lucky enough to spot a 4-striped grass mouse amongst them.
So we've been here at Montrose waterhole, the waterhole where the leopard came and had a drink yesterday. But we've been here for the last few hours and really haven't seen any mammals come down and have a drink. Only a few doves, and around us are the southern ground squirrels. Really entertaining to watch them. It started to heat up now, so we're going to head towards the picnic site and then head north to the Kamkwa waterholes.
We had an uneventful morning after spending what we usually consider the best game viewing hours waiting at the Montrose waterhole. With little activity to reward our patience, we decided to take it slow and head north of the Kamkwa picnic site. Just north of Kamkwa we got our first cat sighting of the day and only the third cat sighting of the trip so far. A mother cheetah and her 3 cubs that were making their way along the riverbed despite it being the heat of the day. Their attention was fixed on a lone springbuck which was in the distance. The mother carefully led the stalk while the 3 cubs followed closely behind, moving slowly with coordination, doing everything they could to avoid being seen. We spent more than an hour watching this unfold, hoping we might witness a hunt. In the end, the cheetah family settled down in the shade to escape the heat, while the springbuck gradually wandered further away, bringing the encounter to a peaceful conclusion.
It was a good morning with those 4 cheetah. They were a bit distant, about 70, 80 meters away, and interested in that springbuck. But on our way here to the Kamkwa picnic site, we saw a big herd of springbuck on their way to the Kamkwa waterhole, which is about 2 k's away from where the cheetah were. After having our sandwiches, we are definitely going to head back to the cheetah and see maybe the springbuck herd has made its way there over to them. But yeah.
Instead of returning to the camp during the heat of the day, we decided to stay out. Over the previous few days, we'd noticed that most of the action seemed to happen around the Montrose waterhole, and we wanted to make sure that we were going to be there during the prime game viewing hours that afternoon. With a bit of luck, we hoped that our patience would finally pay off.
But we started heading back south to Twee Rivieren, and it's just gone about 5 o'clock, and there's a leopard on the ridge here, quite close to the road. I'd say about 40 meters away. But yeah, the first leopard we've been able to see today has definitely been our best day. Yesterday was a little quiet, but today things picked up. Really lucky. Quite difficult to see on the ridge, but beautiful sighting. And things are still really warm, even though it is 5 o'clock. It's probably around 28, 29, 30 degrees.
The sun was still beating down, but this female leopard had found the perfect place to escape the heat, sheltered in the shade of the concrete ridge.
Hoping that it comes down from the ridge and walks closer to the riverbed.
After spending so much time waiting patiently for something to happen over the past few days, we were more than happy to settle in and see what she might get up to. Luckily for us, we didn't have to wait long before she got up and started moving around. The female leopard slowly made her way along the concrete ridge, carefully inspecting every crack and crevice for any potential prey. These concrete ridges are a distinctive feature of the Kalahari, and they provide the leopards with both shelter and an excellent vantage point. Eventually she began her descent towards the riverbed, and we were rewarded with a view that dreams are made of. Although we would have loved to follow her for as long as possible, we eventually had to turn back towards Twee Rivieren. The drive back was a beautiful one, with the sun setting behind us, casting a golden glow over the Kalahari landscape. We couldn't have asked for a better ending to our day, and without a doubt, this had been the best day of our trip so far. At the beginning of our morning drive, we came across a few Cape foxes making their way along the road. After spending some time watching their behavior, we noticed a burrow nearby that we think may have been their den.
Morning guys, we left Twee Rivieren really early this morning. We were the second car out of the gate, and now we're the first car heading up the Alb riverbed. We're heading towards where we left the leopard yesterday afternoon. Hopefully we can come right and get to see it again. Spectacular sighting yesterday. And you know, if she's not around, we'll head on to north of the Kamko picnic site where we saw those 4 cheetah. We've got about 15 minutes to go until we get to that concrete ridge where the female leopard was perched yesterday afternoon before she came down into the riverbed. And we've had a good start to the morning with those Cape foxes. They were just playing in the road. It's the first morning that we've seen Cape foxes in the road. Definitely the best sighting that we've had of that species. So we've just arrived now at the ridge where we first saw the leopard yesterday afternoon, and there's nothing around now, but we're definitely going to wait here for a little bit and see if anything happens. There's one other car that's also waiting here, and it's nice and cool this morning, not as cold as our first morning. Yeah, hopefully we can get some action here. Apparently there are cubs in that ridge, but yeah, unfortunately we didn't get to see anything like that yesterday. But of course we still had a good sighting, and yeah, we're gonna wait it out and see what happens. We've been here for quite a while, about 2.5 hours, and a few other cars have come and waited, but eventually moved on. And it's also quite windy, quite a windy morning today. So hopefully that doesn't have too much of an impact on how active the cat is. But just now we'll head on further north and stop at Montrose Waterhole, where we waited yesterday morning for a few hours. And after that we'll head on to Kamkwa Waterhole and check out the area where we saw the family of cheetah yesterday afternoon. We had the Kamkwa picnic spot. We didn't get to see that leopard and we waited there for about 5 hours. It's got really hot now, so we came here to have some lunch. We're gonna head back, probably wait it out until later this afternoon at that same location. Hopefully we come right. Definitely gonna keep you guys updated.
In the Kalahari, the show goes on even during the hottest parts of the day. The animals here are incredibly well adapted to these harsh conditions. While many species make their way to the waterholes, predators and raptors remain active, constantly searching for opportunities. This black-winged kite was feeding on what we think was a ground agama. While we waited patiently for any sign of the leopard, we noticed plenty of other activity happening around us. The Kgalagadi is truly alive. We had some great views of this chestnut-vented warbler that was moving through the foliage. And we also saw the snakeskin nearby, something we had completely missed earlier in the day.
So guys, we back at the location where we saw the leopard yesterday afternoon, and it's just gone 4:10, so we've already been here for a few hours since coming back from the picnic site, and no sighting of any cat just yet. But we've pretty much sat here the whole day, and we're having doubts about whether she's still going to be using this cave or if she's moved on. But I guess only time will tell. We'll stay here for a little while longer. When things really cool down, we'll take a drive back down the road. Maybe we'll go north until Montrose and check it out before heading back south to Twee Rivieren. It's gotten a bit overcast, definitely the most clouds we've seen since arriving in the Kalahari. So we're heading back south towards Twee Rivieren now. We didn't get to see the leopard after waiting there pretty much the whole day from about 7:30 until 5:30. And we've stopped at this family of meerkats. A few have pulled up scorpions and fed on them. It's interesting to watch the small ones follow the adults around, hoping to get a piece of whatever they dig up.
Watching this family spread out across the ground is fascinating. Every meerkat has a job. Some dig for insects while others stand guard, scanning the horizon for danger. They stay in constant communication through a series of soft calls, and there were plenty of them. What I find most interesting about these animals is that they rarely need to drink water. Instead, they get all the hydration they need from their omnivorous diet. If you're enjoying the video, check out my website richardvanhak.com, where I offer products like car door mounts and wildlife videography courses. You can also support the channel on Patreon, and a huge thank you to everyone who already supports the channel. It's your support that makes videos like this possible. On our final morning from Twee Rivieren, we decided that we would stick to the Alb riverbed for one last drive before moving to our next rest camp. Even though the route was going to take a little bit longer, we both decided that there was more to be seen in the Alb riverbed during our stay, and we weren't disappointed this morning. As we left Twee Rivieren, we had one last memorable sighting, a large male lion crossing the road right in front of us. Lion sightings had been surprisingly quiet during our final few days, so this encounter was a fantastic way to make up for it. After crossing the road, he continued towards the dunes, where he slowly disappeared into the landscape. The cat sightings for the morning were far from over. As we approached the Monroe waterhole, we spotted this leopard walking through the riverbed alongside the road. Judging by the water still dripping from her whiskers, we had just missed her taking a drink. We watched as she crossed the road and continued along the base of the dune. Tracking her was not easy as she weaved through the long grass, stopping regularly to pause and scent mark the trees along her route. Eventually she disappeared into the vegetation and we had to continue our journey north. Before reaching Kumkwa picnic site, we spent some time watching the general game make their way towards the waterhole as the temperatures began to rise. Then we were rewarded with our second leopard sighting of the morning, a very distant view of a male on the opposite side of the Alb riverbed. After a while, he got up and slowly made his way towards a cave, where he would likely spend the rest of the day sheltered from the intense Kalahari heat.
So a really good end to our time in the Twee Rivieren area with those two leopards this morning and that male lion. And it was a far drive to Nosob from Montrose, where we saw that second leopard. But we've arrived, and that's the end of the episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and let me know what you thought about it in the comments. See you guys in the next one.